Hello, I'm Mana Katayama. Today we are talking about how politics in America are helping the political divide grow.
So, my name is Anika Abed,
My name is Eleanor Bigelow.
and we are discussing political polarization this election season and in recent politics. So, probably the most interesting part of this election season has been one particular candidate, Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a business mogul and a television personality, and he first announced his presidency in a speech that was considered by many as hateful, insensitive, and generalizing rhetoric against Mexicans, calling them criminals and rapists. His point, obviously, was to target illegal immigration, and a controversial speech from a prominent business icon would undoubtedly spark up a lot of heated debate. With Trump's emergence into politics, we can see two things: how polarized America is, and how Trump is polarizing America even more. Now, when we step back and look at the election so far, we can see something that is very unique. We see an outsider who is running for president and doesn't care about political correctness and just speaks his mind, as many people say. And that just seems to expand his popularity more and more, attracting more people to his campaign. This is also actually what people like most about him. But at the same time, we also see an increasing amount of people in America and around the world who really hate Donald Trump. It is so interesting to see how Americans are either fierce and staunch supporters of Trump, or they really hate him. This is actually a perfect example of how Trump's emergence into politics has shown how politically polarized America is.
So, you talk about how Americans either really like Trump or they really hate him. And I'm not entirely sure why that is. Why do you think there are many people in the middle?
Well, I feel like it has to do with his viewpoints, which are so unique and different. They aren't compromising ideas. The reason he has virtually no support in the middle is not only because America is polarized, but also because Trump is polarizing America with his different ideas.
Yeah, that really demonstrates the political divide in America when you listen to liberals who hate him and conservatives who really support him.
Something I find interesting that Trump supporters commonly say is the silent majority stands with Trump. This is also very interesting because it shows how the emergence of Donald Trump was revealing the already polarized America. Maybe a lot of people didn't think America was polarized, and Donald Trump supporters just considered their voices to be unheard and didn't speak up because of fear of political correction. So Trump is really making the political divide prominent in America, which I find very interesting. Eleanor, what do you think about the idea that Trump is showing the political divide in America?
Well, that really shows how Trump is making the nation come to terms with the fact that they are politically polarized, especially with his comments regarding illegal immigrants, women, and Muslims. Before this election season, I don't think many people knew that. I, for one, definitely didn't.
Yeah, and I think that many people are noticing something interesting and different this election season, and they just can't find the right word for it. But it's actually just political polarization and how the clash between the left and the right is growing. But the interesting thing is, Trump has not only increased the divide between the left and the right, but also within his own party. He has previously stated at one of the Republican debates that he would run independently if not chosen as nominee, which created conflict between him and the Republican National Committee. Many prominent Republican politicians, especially those who were part of the establishment, have refused to comment about this election, do not support Donald Trump, or have stated indecisiveness about him. These include politicians like the Bushes, John McCain, Mitt Romney, and Paul Ryan. Many Republicans in Congress are also part of the Never Trump movement. But it doesn't just end there. Trump has even divided his party on racial lines. His support with non-whites is virtually non-existent. Many people, especially liberals and minorities, believe that Trump is straight up racist. This makes it very complicated in trying to go about how to solve the political divide and understand how would one who is directly offended by Trump, how would they cooperate with Trump and his supporters? How could polarization be restricted even with this?
That definitely is an interesting concern.
And I personally think that the answer is much more complicated than just that. I guess that it's up to both sides to be more open-minded about the whole thing and put their differences aside to come together to benefit America as a whole.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
In the previous election with Obama, when Obama won, the Republican Party was lacking in the minority votes. And that is really a deciding factor in Obama's presidency. So the fact that Trump isn't really catering to minorities, how do you think he could actually win against Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders, both of whom both of whom have a lot of support with the minorities?
I guess it depends on whichever is stronger, one fixed large majority or many different small minorities. But I guess it's too early to tell what will happen. But for now, Trump has definitely divided America over fundamental values with his unique rhetoric, dividing his own party, and lastly, and most significant, is his racial, ethnic, religious polarization that he has done in America.
HB2, or more commonly known as the bathroom law, has deeply divided not only North Carolinians but lawmakers on the federal level as well.
So, HB2 has been a very widely known issue in America, though it only affects people from one specific state. North Carolina seems to be the leader in state-run bills. This particular bill only restricts the LGBT community to public access, such as bathrooms, ability to obtain and keep jobs, and equal access to public accommodations. Democrats and Republicans really have been fighting on this. So why do you think Democrats and Republicans are really not trying to work anything out and going straight to filing lawsuits against each other?
I think that instead of thinking about the country, they have decided to stay fixed and stay with their ideologies instead of trying to benefit the country and its people. This is why there is a huge clash between Republicans and Democrats, and it seems like neither one wants to budge.
And as most people know, North Carolina is a very Republican state, but only 49% of them say that they're okay with the law. So why do you think 51% of them don't want it?
Well, maybe a reason why over half of them aren't supporting it is because they think that the state and federal government should work together on this, and they don't actually want the country to be polarized, and it's only the government that is doing the polarizing.
And so on to the most prominent issue in this debate is biological sex. It has been mentioned in many media sources in relation to this bill, and it is defined in the bill as the physical condition of being male or female which is stated on a person's birth certificate. And because they have really made this a major issue, the country is trying to piece together why North Carolina is really targeting one type of person. The exact words were people cannot be discriminated or abridged on account of race, religion, color, national origin, age, biological sex, or handicap. So they have a very well thought out idea and obviously have taken into consideration all of these different types of people, and because of that, and because they have put almost every single possible thing except if a person is transgender, why do you think that they are so prominently against this one specific group and calling out these individuals?
I think that this is an interesting part of polarization because it is a perfect example of the polarizing conversations between Republicans and Democrats. The conservatives have not budged because of their ideological stance. This type of polarization is just Democrats and Republicans standing by their ideas, not willing to change for the betterment of the nation.
As we move on, the state government has called out one specific group, and the federal government has filed for lawsuits against North Carolina. This is a perfect example of what one bill in one state can do to polarize an entire nation.
Thank you for listening to our discussion and our thoughts on political polarization in America in recent politics. My name is Anika Abed again.
I'm Mana.
I'm Eleanor Bigelow, and please comment below.